Bobby Brown and Stephen Floppinger Gymnasium for the second men's volleyball matchup of the day. We just saw the Lions go up against and come up just a little bit short to Nichols by a score of 3-1. Now the Lions are looking to redeem themselves with a win over the Northern Vermont University Badgers. I'm Jillian Kay here with Anthony Labruto on Emerson Channel Sports. So, Anthony, what do you think the Lions need to improve on in this match in order to take home a win today?
I think definitely being more deliberate with their attack placement, looking for those open spots on the court, attacking with a purpose, keeping consistent communication on the court. But this game specifically, Emerson is going to need to bring that same energy from their previous Nichols game, and it's certainly going to be a tall order for today's doubleheader.
You're definitely right, Anthony. The Lions have got to be tired from that grueling battle that they just had against Nichols. That match was a bit of a redemption game for the Lions because they lost to Nichols 3-0 the first time. Unfortunately, they weren't able to come out on top this time either, but they get another chance right now against the Northern Vermont Badgers. So I'm looking forward to seeing.
Me too.
Oh, here we go. Now we're going to see the highlights from Nichols. We just saw Sam Willinger and Parker Gray have outstanding play last match, and we're looking forward to seeing it again. Here's Sam Willinger, now the captain, getting his team hyped up. This is great to see because their energy doesn't seem to be lacking, even after they just played a 4-set match.
Absolutely, looks like they're definitely running off some great adrenaline.
Now we see senior Matt Connolly in the middle of this hype-up circle, chanting. And with that, we're off. Here we go. Today for Emerson, we will have Leon Chen, Josh Elliott, Lucas Ragas, Danny Duress, Parker Gray, and Matt Connolly. Starting for the Lions. And for the Badgers, we'll have Jason Madrid, Michael Weston, Wyatt Moberg, Randy Willett, and Ryan Willett. And we're off. Lucas Ragas with the serve. Gets it over with a top spin. Just a bit too far outside there as Ryan Willett hits the antenna. Emerson point. There we see it again. Tries to tip it with his left hand, but it goes into the antenna and out of bounds. Ragas with a topspin serve. Fires it over the net. Willett. Ball right back in the right corner there. Point for the Badgers. That was a great spot by Willett. Jason Madrid, a freshman from Aurora, Colorado, to serve. Just a little bit too much in the net there. Almost trickled over, but not quite. Point Emerson as Josh Elliott goes back to serve. He's a setter, sophomore from Swedesboro, New Jersey. He gets it over, floats it over. The Badgers try to free ball it over. They just can't quite get there. Another point for Emerson. Here goes Elliott with the serve. And the Badgers shank it out of bounds. Another point Emerson as they now take the game 4-1.
Josh Elliott going up again for the serve.
Ragas to duress. Gets the left-handed tip, gets caught in the block there from the Badgers, and goes down right in the front row with no one to pick it up. Emerson point. Willinger slams it to the back row off the hands of number 9, Dominic Phelps, and forces the Badgers to call a timeout. Here we see the Emerson bench, as the score is now 6-1. Here's a replay of that last swing by Willinger. He gets up, hits high hands, and Phelps is not able to return it. It was a great effort by his teammates to try and get there, but just a little bit too short. There's Parker Gray, who we saw had an outstanding game earlier against Nichols. Also Matt Connolly. Here's the Badger bench, hoping to make a comeback right here, stop the bleeding. Yet the Emerson bench still looks fired up and ready to go.
Absolutely, definitely keep maintaining that confidence.
Elliott will serve again for the Lions. And that serve almost knocks over one of the Badgers players and gives the point right back to Emerson. That service ace by Elliott. And right off the back of a service ace, he hits it into the net, and it was just a little bit short, as he tells Coach Reed that he will hit it a little higher next time. Reassures him. Here goes Ryan Willett with the serve for the Badgers. Parker Gray gets it up. It's an overpass there. This is an unusual position for Parker Gray because he's usually a middle blocker, so you can't blame him for passing it a bit too tight there. We'll see who Ryan Willett chooses to serve to now. Once again, as I expected, he served to Parker. But Parker's able to get it up. Elliott with a nice dig. Darris down. Oh, a double hit there. The refs will call on Emerson. Point to the Badgers. Ryan Willett with a nice serving streak here for the Badgers, as the score is now 7-4. He tried to do a top spin there, but he gets a little bit too far over the line as the refs call it foot fault. Here goes Matt Connolly back to serve. He floats it in just a bit too far. And a turnover going to the Badgers, excuse me. And now we'll see Randy Willett, the twin to Ryan Willett, going back to serve. And Parker Gray slams it down right near the 10-foot line. That was great teamwork from the Lions. And we've seen this season that Gray really likes the zero tempo set, especially for middles. That's a great swing. And Willinger gets the service ace as he celebrates with his team. He'll go back to serve again. The score is now 10-5 Emerson. floats it in. Looks like Parker Gray is not the only one that likes the zero tempo set, as we see number 13, Jesse Streeter, a 6'5" senior middle blocker for the Badgers, swinging a zero tempo set down to the back row just in front of Elliott. Willinger gets it over. Madrid out to Willett. Off the hands of Leon Chen.
A sophomore from Hong Kong, China.
Yes. Michael Weston serves it just a bit too far there. Out of bounds, Emerson point. We like to call that a home run sometimes, even though that's a totally different sport. It's just a volleyball joke. Here we have Danny Darris, with the serve. Elliott pops it over. Madrid to Willett. Blocked by Gray. Madrid pops it over. Gray tips it. The 10-foot line picked up by the Badgers. Free ball. And that zero tempo set. Oh, it's picked up. Wait. And the refs will call it down. It's a bit of a controversial play there. Here we'll see the replay. And it looks like it just hits the ground there. I can confirm that from my vantage point. And the point will go to Emerson. Darris serving it a bit wide there, as it's a quick turnover for the Lions going to the Badgers. Here we'll have number 9, Dominic Phelps, the freshman from Lyndonville, Vermont, going back to serve. Picked up by Willinger, over by Elliott, and just long. Point Badgers. Phelps will serve again for the Badgers. Chooses to top spin. Off the hands of Darris. Gray saves it off the wall, but Ragas is unable to put it over. It was an amazing save by Gray there. Off the purple wall, the infamous purple wall here. Gray just gets it, goes flat out on the wall, and Ragas was not able to put it over. Willett with the top spin. Excuse me, Phelps. Willinger. Madrid. Out to Phelps. Nope, excuse me. Willett. Thank you, Anthony. And he wasn't able to get it over. Point Emerson. It is now 10-13. Emerson is up as Gray goes back to serve for the Lions. He'll float it in. Madrid's back set to Streeter, who's unable to get it over. Even though it looked like it was going to be a good play, it seemed that the set was just a bit low. As a middle blocker myself, I can attest to the fact that sometimes you just need a little bit of a higher set. There we go, another play. They seemed to fix that one, the Badgers did. But Emerson gets it back over. Back row attack goes out of bounds there. Back row attack by Garrison French, the outside hitter from New Berlin, New York. Hits it a bit too far, and it'll be Emerson point as Parker Gray, the middle blocker freshman from Los Angeles, California, serves it. Back row attack from Darris. Badgers try to return it with another back row attack from French. However, it's not able to go, and now the score is 10-16. Emerson is ahead, and the Badgers call their second timeout. Here we'll see a replay of that zero tempo hit from Parker Gray. Matt Connolly celebrating with Gordon Jackson. Excuse me, Jackson Gordon. Here we see Coach Ben telling the Lions probably that they need to keep their heads in this game and not let up. Seems the players agree as the Badgers go back to take the court, hoping to make a comeback. There's number 8, Ryan Willett, who I mentioned before has a twin, Randy Willett. And on the topic of twins, the Badgers actually have 2 sets of twins on their team. They have Patrick Holmes and Peter Holmes, and Randy Willett and Ryan Willett. I wonder how that family dynamic is going to work for them. As Gray gets another point for the Lions, it's now 17-10. Madrid tries to pop it up to Streeter, but they call a lift on him. That was a good attempt by Madrid, though, trying to pick that up. It was a bit of a low pass. May have been better to take it with his platform instead of his hands. Bit of a disconnect there. Connolly attempts. Madrid tries to hit it over on 2. As a setter, surprise Emerson Lions, except he's not able to do so, and Emerson gets the point. Gray will serve again. Pops it in short. Moberg got it over. Elliott just a little bit low there and hits it into the net, just underneath the block. Point will go to the Badgers. As Jesse Streeter goes back to serve for the Badgers. He'll topspin to Willinger, to Ragas, out to Connolly. Looks like he ran a slide there. It's unusual for men's volleyball, but very common in women's. So that was great to see. One of my favorite swings personally. Goes off the hands of Ryan Willett and lands in that back corner. Here goes Ragas with the serve. Madrid out to Willett. And Willett sneaks it through the seam in the block between Connolly and Willinger. And the point goes to the Badgers. Now we'll see the setter, freshman from Aurora, Colorado, Jason Madrid, serve for the Badgers. Elliott pops it up to Ragas, who pops it out to Willinger, and just a little bit short. I think he tried to force that hit a little bit as he's talking to Coach Reed, who said, yeah, you probably should have just passed that over, Sam. But I think he knows that now. Here goes Madrid with the serve again. Madrid, almost finding the open spot on the court there, but the refs will call it out. Point Emerson, as the score is now 21-13. Elliott will go back to serve. Just a bit too long there from Elliott. I believe that's his second misserved. And the point will go to the Badgers, where Willett will go back to serve. Line judge will call that out, and the point will go to Emerson. Here goes Connolly back to serve, the junior from Haverhill, Mass. Pops it in. Madrid tips it up to Weston. And it is returned by Darius, who hits the sharp angle there just inside the 10-foot line. And it's touched and out of bounds by the Badgers. Connolly will go back to serve again. He pops it in. Weston tries to get it over. Elliott pops it to Ragas, who passes it to Gray. Tips it over. Weston slams it down, saved by Connolly. And a net from the Badgers. There's a great pop-up from number 9, Dominic Phelps on the Badgers. That was a great move. Pretty athletic there. As Connolly goes back to serve. A pokey from Madrid there, trying to save it, but it goes out of bounds, and the Emerson fans go crazy as Emerson takes his first set, 25-14. Well, it'll be interesting to see how Emerson responds in this next game, and we'll see you back here shortly. There's Sam Willinger saying goodbye. Hello and welcome back to the Bobby Brown and Stephen Ploffiker Gymnasium. I'm Jillian Kay here with Anthony Labruto, and we're going to get right back into this game today. So far we've seen Parker Gray from the Emerson Lions have 3 kills, 1 service ace, and 2 digs. Here goes Madrid with the serve. An attempted kick by Madrid to save it as it goes and almost hits some of our fans in the skybox up there. Luckily there's a protective glass. Here's a replay of that. Willinger slams it down for the point, and he'll go back to serve. Weston. Ooh. Number 18, Garrett Seckett's seeing some time today on the floor for the Lions. Unfortunately, he just hit the net with his hand, giving a point to the Badgers. But Garrett Seckitz is a freshman from Los Angeles, California, who actually played with Parker Gray on the same team at St. John Bosco High School in California. That was Willett with the serve. Ragas to Connolly, who tips it in. They call it double contact on the Badgers. Point Emerson.
Emerson now leads 2-1 against University of Vermont.
Northern Vermont, yep. Here goes Connolly. Ball almost saved there by Randy Willett. The twin to Ryan Willett, who it seems they're trying as middle blocker now on the Badgers. Here goes Connolly, back to serve. He pops it in. Saved by Moberg. Just a little bit long there by Weston. And the point will be Emerson's. Here's that play again. It was a great save, though, by Madrid. Just a bit of a mishit by Weston, as he says, my bad. There goes Duress with the swing off the block, the tool. Point Emerson, and it forces the Badgers to call a timeout as the score is now 5-1. What are some things you're seeing in this game, Anthony?
I'm sorry. Definitely a lot of strength so far from Parker Gray, who was 3 kills, 2 digs, and unfortunately no aces yet, but 1 service ace.
I totally agree. Here we see a replay of Darius, though, hitting it off the block. And there's Gray, like you said, cheering on his teammate. There's Coach Ben Reed talking to all his players. Sam Willinger, the junior captain from Golden Beach, Florida. Sometimes Coach Ben will do that. He will have the captain talk to the players in place of him so that the players can go out with a motivation.
It's definitely keeping the players very united and energized to keep this game going.
I'd like to give a shout out to the floor mopper, Sam DeCoste, as well as our line judges, Sakura Regan and Anna Phillips. Excuse me, Sakura Reagan. Here goes Matt Connolly. It was a good attempt by Phelps to hit the ball in, but it goes just a bit wide, and the point will go to Emerson.
Serve up again by Connolly.
Almost goes out there on the serve, but it's recovered by Phelps, who was unable to get a second contact from his teammates. Here we see it. No, it seemed like it was going to go in, so it was a good call by Phelps. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the help. Here goes Connolly again with the serve.
Up to Madrid.
Raga sets a bick to Willinger, who slams it down and goes off the hands of Ryan Willett. Point Emerson. Here's a replay of that bick, which is a back row attack from the middle.
Does see Willinger out. Really strong hit across that.
Connolly with the serve again. Off the hands of Wyatt Moberg, the sophomore from Acton, Massachusetts. We see him telling his teammates to move up a little bit, getting ready for this serve, trying to predict where it'll go. Connolly gets another ace there. He even had a little celebration where he went rock star style on his knees. Here's the service ace. There's the celebration a little bit in the back corner, but mostly just his teammates cheering him on. That was a great swing by Phelps, as he was able to get it in the back corner there, over the block, gaining a point for the Badgers.
Randy Willett now goes to serve for Northern Vermont.
He'll topspin. That was an enthusiastic topspin. Really high toss. Duress tries to get it over, just short there, into the net. Another point for the Badgers. Score is now 3-10. Randy Willett will go back to serve, the junior from Wolfboro, New Hampshire. Once again, a high toss. Ragas back set to Gordon. And Emerson will get the point off of a net from Phelps.
Score now 11-3 Emerson College.
Wyatt Moberg returning for the Badgers. Jarek Liu checking in for Garrett Seckets. Jarek Liu is the outside freshman from Richmond Hill, Canada. Just a bit short there on the serve from Liu. Point going to the Badgers as number 3, Michael Weston, will go back to serve. Weston gets a float serve there. Ragas up to Gray. Bit of a disconnect, he tips it over. Phelps with a set over the net. Ragas pops it back row to Willinger for the pick, and the Badgers are unable to return it. That was a good one-hand attempt, however, from Wyatt Moberg, as we see him try to lift it up. Unfortunately, once again, there's no help there.
That just wasn't close enough.
As it went right into the post here.
Danny Duress now goes up to serve for Emerson College.
Duress is a sophomore from Long Island, New York. Willinger gives a free ball to the Badgers, but it was short. And a free ball kill from Emerson. Willinger definitely excited about that one. That was great placement as he went for the front row on that free ball instead of pushing it deep. Bit too short there as the serve goes into the net from Duress. Point Badgers. Dominic Phelps will go back to serve. Another high topspin there. One-handed contact over by Duress. Duress tries to save that there.
Pretty impressive slide, though, from Duress, though.
Kind of like a penguin, am I right?
Yeah.
Look at that hustle. Ooh. Tough spill there, but wow, he glides.
That's really something.
Here goes Phelps again with the serve. Top spin. Personally, I think it's that high toss that might have caused that inconsistency with the serve there.
Definitely, it seems like there's a little bit more placement that you have to see, taking a big risk, throwing it high.
Definitely. Ball tipped over by Madrid on a dump.
Just a little bit too far for number 5, Jarek Liu.
Streeter will go back to serve for the Badgers. Coach Ben is asking me for a replay here. Unfortunately, we don't have that for him. Here goes Streeter with the top spin. Connolly with the slide. Free ball. Blocked. Into the net by Randy Willett. Wyatt Moberg will return for the Badgers. And for Emerson, Garrett Seckitz will return in place of Jarek Liu. Lucas Ragas going back to serve for the Lions. Once again, the only senior on the Emerson lineup. He attempts a top spin, but it goes right into the net. Quick turnover to the Badgers. Michael Weston will return for Garrison French.
Jason Madrid now goes up to serve.
Ball just goes a bit too down there. I think Garrett Seckitz thought he was closer to the net than he was. It actually goes under the net. If he was just a bit tighter on the net, that would have been a great kill, but I think he was just a bit too far off there.
Unfortunately, just a little bit too short.
But it's okay because the Badgers return the ball to the Lions. Madrid hitting the ball into the net on a serve.
Score now 16-9 Emerson College.
Willinger goes back to serve for the Lions. Weston hitting it a bit short there, and it goes into the net. The Badgers coach getting a bit upset over here. Rightfully so. Willinger with the pick.
Up to Madrid.
Blocked down by Darris and Connolly. That was a strong press from the two.
Absolutely. Northern Vermont definitely using a lot more of their freshmen this time.
Definitely. They actually have a strong freshman leadership from Jason Madrid, the setter, who calls all the plays.
Absolutely. He's been all over the court so far this set.
Definitely. Connolly was able to just get it over the net and off the hands of Ryan Willett.
Fortunately, just a little bit too far for Wyatt Moberg.
Here we see Sheldon Billings checking in for the Badgers in place of Dominic Phelps. Willinger trying to pop it to Billings, but it goes just a bit too long there. Point Badgers. Here goes Ryan Willett with the serve. Trickles over the net to Willinger, up to Ragas, to Parker Gray for the back row attack. Just a bit too wide there from Willinger. And the point goes to the Badgers. Willett with the serve, too long there on the top spin. It seems on these serves they're getting a bit underneath the ball, and that's why it's flying out of bounds. They need to contact through rather than under.
Absolutely, to deliver that a little bit closer into the center of the cohort.
Exactly. Here goes Connolly with the serve. Float serve. Moberg with the surprise set there to Billings. Tips it over. Ball goes in for the Lions.
Emerson has a pretty sizable lead over.
Here we see Sam Willinger with the back row pipe or bick. As it lands right in that back corner. Great placement. Here goes Connolly. Just a bit too long there. Jesse Streeter checking back in for the Badgers in place of Wyatt Moberg. Here goes Randy Willett with the serve. Raga sets it to Seckitz. Just a bit too long there. I could tell Seconds is hungry, though. He came into this game really
the strength of the hits definitely have been really, really cool to watch. It seems that energy is definitely kept up.
Totally agree. Seconds attempted to go for the sharp angle there, but wasn't able to get it. As the Badgers turn over the ball on the serve, Jarek Liu checking in for the Lions in place of Garrett Seconds. Fun fact about Jarek Liu, he's actually in Anthony and myself's speech comm class. Sure. He pops it in. Right past Billings, and it lands in the court, and a point for Emerson, an ace for Jarek Liu. The freshman from Richmond Hill, Canada. He'll serve again. Just a bit short there. He does have an interesting technique on his serve. He uses 2 hands to toss it up in place of 1. Here goes Michael Weston to serve for the Badgers. He'll float it in. Much more controlled toss there. Gray gives the free ball to the Badgers. That was an interesting 0 tempo set to Streeter there. Oh, once again, this time no dice, and it goes into the net. Point Emerson. There's an interesting dynamic here. Great save by Willinger, though.
Yeah. You see, it was just a little bit too short by a number 13, Jesse Streeter.
Yes. That was a spicy serve. And an even spicier slam by Parker Gray, who wraps up the second set 25-14. Same score as the first set, actually. Fun fact. As we will take a short break here, and we'll see you right back here on Emerson Channel Sports.